Hey guys, namaste, and I hope all of you are doing great. I'm going to tell you what are the things that you can do to see in your charts to find out if someone whom you met is actually a soulmate or not, right? If he or she is a soulmate. Now, a little bit about what is a soulmate, right? There's a lot of vague notion, fallacies, and ambiguity around this area. So let's just clear that out first, okay, guys? It's got the first thing that comes to our mind is a lover, someone who have departed or someone who have left from the past life is coming back to us. But it is true, right? But it's not all the truth, right? A soulmate is simply an unshakable bond from your past life which is coming back to you. A bond which is so strong that is you're bound to meet that the spirit is bound to get into a communion. Okay, you will meet, right? The shape and form is nothing, right? I've talked about this in my previous videos about the panchakosha, the 5 different bodies that we have, from the subtle to the gross body. If you're interested in all this stuff, then you can go and search for pancha, P-N-C-H-A, kosha, K-O-S-A or K-O-S-H-A, kosha. Okay. It talks about the fact that we have 5 different bodies in ourselves, and the most subtle is the spirit, the Atman. It's the soul within us. Now that doesn't change. That is the perpetual divine energy that doesn't change. It goes on, forever. So there's no such thing as death. Come to think about it, right? It is a transitory phase. When we pass on in this Janma, in this life, we take a different form of shape. Of course, if you followed the path of dharma and righteousness, then you're bound for salvation or moksha. That's a different thing. But for the most of us, it's a birth. We are in this cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, right? Samsara. So there are connections which travel with us, right? There are spirits, there are souls which travels with us in every time, in every birth. They don't leave you. The bond is so strong, it's unshakable. Even death doesn't stop. They will follow on the next birth, right? So that is a very interesting concept. Now, for example, I just want to make it very clear what is a soulmate. Say, all right, say you have a neighbor. Of course, this is your past life, all right? Just bear with me. Just imagine it was a past life and you have a neighbor, this old man, okay? This old man who gives you words of wisdoms, who has been the greatest teacher. You idolize this guy. A connection has been established, a bond has been established. Now what happens is, when you pass on in this birth, that spirit will seek that person. Of course, he may not be an old man in this birth. He can be a small boy, right? But when you see that spirit, it will see through like an X-ray. It doesn't look at the physical body. It goes beyond physical body, right? It goes to the subtle body, the shukshma shariram, right? It goes into that level and will identify, I somehow feel this person, which is why sometimes you go to a party or a friend's house, not a good advice, not a good example since the corona and all that. Say someone comes to your house or you meet someone at the bus stop, okay? And you started to engage in small talks, how's the weather, how's the pandemic, whatnot, right? But then you realize that as you keep talking, there's a lot of commonality. Both of you are in sync with the same wavelength. Something is weird going on, right? Total stranger, but then everything that you think and say is right on the dot. Is exactly at what he or she is thinking. Now, how is that even possible, right? So that is an indication that person is, not from the outer body, but the spirit is in communion, in link. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. What or who a soulmate is. Okay, that's number one. So how would you identify? Say if you know someone, Okay, now how would you check using Vedic astrology? So there's 3 things you need to do. This can get a little bit convoluting, but if you really want to know, if you know someone and if you really need to validate that, of course I do that as a paid service. You can always drop me an email, and then I can send you an invoice and things like that. But anyways, if you have the skills, then why not? Look at the D9's D9 chart, okay? The subdivision of D9, and it's the Navamsa chart. Okay, look at that, because that is the one that shows the most recent past life. The Navamsa, the D9, shows the accumulated lifespans, the residual amount of data it collects and puts it in the Navamsa. It is accumulative, okay? But the D9's D9, that shows the most recent past life, okay? Now take that, and here are the 3 things you need to see in that chart, okay? Number 1 is that chart, the D9's Lagna, okay? That shows the Vasanas, okay? Now Vasana is a Sanskrit word that shows impressions, imprints of your past life, okay? Certain memories which lingers, right? It is in one part of the mind. Of course I don't know which part. It is somewhere in the mind. It's a special repository. It's not the conscious, obviously. It's not even the subconscious. Could be a superconscious, I don't know, but it dwells in certain part of our mind, a memory which is not from this life's experience, which is why sometimes when we dream, for those who don't know, I do dream analysis. That link is also in the description section. Those who dream, right? Sometimes you'll see a house and you know exactly where the room is. If you go to the kitchen, where's the drawer, the fridge is on the left hand side. You know every detail. Now you've not seen this house in your real life, but you know, right? Same thing in a dream. You meet people and you've never seen this person ever and when you wake up from your dream, you realize, now who's that guy? But in your dream, you were having a relationship with the person. You knew the person. Now all that is from that repository, the past lives repository. So don't take dreams or don't dismiss them, okay? Because there's a lot of things going on there, okay? So vasanas are impressions from your past life. That's the first thing. Your lagna on the D9 shows the capacity. Now, if if the lagna is weak, or it has an affliction, or if it's with a bad drishti, whatever it is, if it's not in a good dignity, then it shows that person's vasanas is less. It's not bringing much from the past life, which means that his soul may not go and seek. There isn't nothing much from his past life. There's really nothing. There's no unshakable bond, no special relationship, nothing like that. So that clearly shows that, okay, right, that person is not, obviously, right? That's the first thing. Second thing is the 7th house in that D9's D9 chart. That shows if the person is, number 1, if he's got a strong vasana, which means he or she is ready, right? Is ready to access that data and start to seek, okay? But whether he or she will seek the soulmate or not is seen in the 7th house, okay? The 7th house will give you all the details. Now, if you have a weak 7th house in that particular chart, and then again, that person has no, there's no connection of that soul. It will never be a soulmate. The third one is Rahu. Now, Rahu is the bridge between past lives. Ketu is the one that gives us details about past life, but Rahu is the bridge, the connection that establishes, right? Now, if you have that Rahu strong, Rahu is very strong, then it simply shows that what relationship. So if you look at Rahu's nakshatra, most important, where it residing is, what is the nakshatra, and that nakshatra's personality would then determine if that person is a friend, or if you're a sibling, or your parents, maybe a lover, or a teacher, or a guru, right? This Rahu is the one that gives us that relationship details, right? So 3 things. Number 1 is the vasanas, the capacity of soulful connections. The seventh house shows whether this person will seek their soulmate or not. Rahu will show what sort of relationship their soulmate is. Okay, so when all these things align, then you can say for sure, yes, this person is my soulmate. Okay, so that's how I do soulmate compatibility analysis. Of course, there's more things that we should check, but in a cursory glance, that's what it is. Okay, so I hope this video is informative. If you like it, please share it with your friends and family, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.